125. Yeah, that's 470 horsepower. Yeah.
Welcome to Changing Gears. This is a big day. My name is Jay, and as you can see behind me, we have finally gotten our hands on a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. And look at this thing. This is one of 9 color options. It's known as Snazberry, which is a new color in 2021. Fun fact, out of the 9 color options, white is the only one that comes as a base package. Everything else is an upcharge. So the Snazberry paint's an upcharge and it looks amazing. Coming down, we have 33-inch factory all-terrains on 17-inch bead locks. And that's one of the distinguishing characteristics of the 392 and how you can pick it out from a regular Rubicon. This is the only Jeep that comes with factory bead locks. The other Wranglers, Rubicons, the Gladiators, not even the Mojaves come with bead locks. So that is one of the dead giveaways when you see one of these on the street. Like the Wrangler, the 392 sits on Fox shocks all around it, 2-inch Fox shocks, but the 392 sits an inch higher. It needed extra clearance for the 392, big V8 engine, and many other beefed up components, bigger steering knuckles, bigger motor mounts, chassis enforcements. All of that needed that extra clearance, so they gave it a 1-inch lift. I think it looks great. If you're a Jeep guy, you know this will take up to 37s, and that makes it pretty sweet, but it only does come with the factory 33s. Coming around front, a few obvious things to note. You have the little steel rivets in the bumper. You don't have that on other Jeeps. I don't really know why it's there. I imagine it's reinforcement. Obviously, there's a big steel bar behind here, but it does give it a cool, rugged look. The other thing that a lot of people don't know is that this is not the grille from the Wrangler. It's actually the grille from the Gladiator. So to fit the hood, that is also the hood fitted on the Gladiator. Obviously, those already known to line up, so the Jeep went with it to make it a little easier. This does come with the standard LED headlights, LED turn signals, and that gives it a real good look. Of course, it's tough. And coming up top, we can't talk about the 392 without talking about the scoop. And unlike my Mojave, which you've seen in other videos, this bad boy is functional. And in fact, it's highly functional. I'll pop the hood here in a second and you can be introduced to Jeep's Hydro Guide technology. And this has 3 vents and is specifically designed to flush out water, dirt, debris, and siphon the air out into the intake while pushing all the other waste product to the side. Jeep patent, Jeep thing, super cool, and probably the most obvious characteristic that sets the 392 apart from the other Wranglers on the road. And you also get the 392 badging on the side and those gold accents, which I think look great, especially in this color. All right, coming under the hood to the bread and butter, what makes the 392 the 392? A 392 cubic inch V8 or 6.4 liters for the metric folk. I don't know when in automotive history we decided to switch from cubic inches to liters, but this is a throwback to the 392 cubic inch days of Mopar's past. You obviously see the big block here, and they've done a lot of cool stuff under the hood to keep it still very off-road capable. Obviously they had to lift it to fit everything in, but you'll notice like the battery box, the fuses, the air ducts, everything is lifted up higher than you'd think, and that's to be able to maintain water wading clearance. So this thing can wade through 32 inches of water. It still has the same approach and departure angles of the Rubicon Unlimited, so all of that is still very off-road capable. And of course you have 470 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque. It goes 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and does a 13-second quarter mile, and that's fast, especially for a Jeep. Checking out Jeep's Hydro Guide system. All of the air, debris, water, whatever it may be that comes through that scoop is sorted out under the hood here. All of your waste, water, debris is shot out away from the intake, and then the air duct guides everything into the intake for the engine. To note, it can disperse 15 gallons of water per minute, which is a boatload. Coming around to the side, a couple cool things to note. This has the color matched hardtop, which is my personal favorite, but I should note that there's 6 top options, including a one-touch power roof, which is pretty sweet. It's considered a soft top, but it's electric. You just push a button and the whole thing rolls back. It's open air. It's a panoramic sunroof on steroids, and I think that's really cool. They also have a really cool $4,000 option that is half doors. Obviously, Jeep guys know that you can take the doors off these, swap them out with half doors. They've been doing it for years. It's really cool, and I think it looks really cool with them on. The Mopar factory half doors that are an option with this thing. Would recommend if you have another $4,000 to spare. Coming around back, one thing to note is you do have bigger brakes. Obviously, you want to stop all that power from the 392 V8 and it does have bigger disc brakes. They're actually the same ones that are on the Gladiator Mojave. Another thing is the raised wheel arches. You see them in the front too, and that's obviously just for clearance. Chassis flex, you can fit bigger tires under here. I've seen guys go as big as 37. In fact, when the original concept for the 392 came out, it came with 37s, and I imagine accounting or safety or legal or someone got in the way of that, so you got 33s. Coming around to the back of the truck, a few things to notice. A lot of the stuff is the same as the traditional Wrangler. You have your rear mounted tire, you have your third brake light, which is mandated in the United States. You have all your parking sensors located in the tail lights, which people often love to criticize. But the parts that set it apart are the gold tow hooks and of course the unmistakable quad exhaust that you have hanging out the back here. And that brings us to the sound, which is definitely the most distinguishable part of this truck when you see it on the road. There's no mistake in that V8 noise. It's extremely loud, and I'm excited to show you that later in the video. Talking about everything underneath this truck, there's a couple cool things to point out. This has a 373 axle ratio, which is different from the regular Rubicon, which has 411:1. And that's to accommodate the different amounts of power, various factors. It's still great at off-roading. Another thing to talk about is the transfer case. So this has a 272:1 transfer case, which is a much lower ratio than the traditional Wranglers as well. And that allows us to get into that high-speed running category. It's the same transfer case that's in the Mojave. This thing can do 60 miles an hour in low range, which is really fun. Axle lockers, sway bar disconnect, you got it all in here. It is still extremely off-road capable. This particular example has the optional towing package, which allows it to tow up to 3,500 pounds. It's not going to be your workhorse, but you probably wouldn't buy a 470 horsepower Wrangler to be your workhorse. One other thing to note is the swing tailgate. This makes it pretty convenient. You can open this, load and unload without hassling with the window. You can open this separately, so it is a bit practical in your 470 horsepower grocery getter. Coming inside the 392 Wrangler here, not a ton of changes between this and the base Wrangler or the Gladiator. You will notice that you get this nice glossy dash instead of the red that usually comes in the Rubicon or the matte that comes in the Mojaves. You still get nice stitching on the steering wheels. Obviously the 392 Rubicon stitching. Otherwise it's the same leather bucket seats. All of the 392s come in the unlimited trim package, so they all have the 8.4-inch touchscreen and the Alpine sound system, which sounds great. Of course, this has the headliner, which cuts down greatly on wind noise and insulates in various weather climates. Standard back seats. On the inside, it is still the Wrangler we know and love. Couple notable changes. Paddle shifters. This is the only Jeep ever in the existence of the entire world with paddle shifters, and it might continue to be the only Jeep ever with paddle shifters. A couple other little things to note here. You have an exhaust button. Turn this on to get things a little rowdy, and boy is it loud. You'll hear that shortly. Still have your front and rear lockers, sway bar disconnect, off-road plus mode. All of this is pretty standard you'll find in Jeeps across the lineup. This does have the optional auxiliary switches, so you can hook up light bars, winches, etc. You are probably wondering what this bad boy sounds like, and we are going to show you here coming out of the quad-tipped exhaust. Go for it. This review is brought to you by J&S Motors here in Prior Lake, Minnesota. They made this video possible. They're the sellers and current owners of this Jeep. And so if you guys would like to check out this Jeep yourself, contact J&S Motors at the number below. Huge thank you to them. They are amazing. And without them, we would not be here reviewing this Jeep Wrangler 392 here today. So check them out. I wanted to take a minute to talk about the market for new cars in general, including special cars like this. There is extremely low shortage. Lots just don't have inventory right now. There's chip shortages, part shortages, everything overseas that are making cars like this extremely hard to come by. And though it says you can get one of these on the Jeep website for about 75, 78 grand, you'll be waiting who knows how long. I'm suspecting over a year for them. So examples like these are extremely popular and getting extremely hard to find. The demand is there, and with that, the price is going up a little. But this is a beautiful example, and in fact, this could be your beautiful example. This Jeep is actually for sale, and we will list the link to this in the description below. So if you'd like to call this Jeep yours, you will have a way to. And that's an extremely rare opportunity. I highly recommend if you're in the market for one of these, you look at this. We're located in central Minnesota here filming this today, and I think it would be worth every penny, and you will get the most smiles per gallon you could have ever imagined out of this thing. Driving the 392 Wrangler. Immediately sitting in it, it's obviously high up. It's a Wrangler. No miracles have occurred. It still feels and drives like a Wrangler. It's not a sports car. But this one is clearly a bit peppier. As far as steering feel, it kind of feels like a little slower than my Mojave, for example. But of course it's comfy sitting on Fox shocks, leather seats, all the materials in here are nice, leather stitching, dash, you know. Like I said, not a lot's different from the other current Wranglers and Gladiators in the Jeep lineup. It's nice, it's comfy. You can see out of it really well. You feel very, you know, king of the road. It's got that big truck, almost G-Wagon-esque seating position. Obviously not as luxurious, but you notice like the straight windows. You pick up a little glare, all that's kind of same deal with that G-Wagon. This mom and her big gulp, I don't know what she's doing. She forgot something.
I think she was picking up her kid.
Oh, that could be it. She was in a hurry.
Yeah.
God forbid, literally a kid had to walk 100 yards.
You got one car coming and then you're good.
All right.
There he is.
Keeping an eye on us.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do a little pull here. We're going 25. Yeah. That's 470 horsepower.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It is kind of funny, obviously it's a big tire car and you have a lot of body roll, and so it feels a little wiggly. Like it's not.
It's in four-wheel drive.
It's in four-wheel drive, it just feels a little like...
In 4-high, 70% of the power goes to the back wheels.
Yep.
4-high part-time, it's 50-50, I think.
I did read that, which is good information. Even at 50, the downshift sticks you back there. We got the exhaust on.
Try one of the windows down, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't really make much of a difference, I don't know. So you just go straight, probably? Good.
I believe 0 to 60 in 4 something. So driving position here, again, it's pretty standard Wrangler, obviously nice. The only thing you got is these paddle shifters. It's the only real giveaway.
We mentioned too, it's not really that loud at highway speed, so you never.
Yeah, no, it's honestly settles down pretty nicely, just to cruise. Yeah, especially when you turn the exhaust off like that, it's pretty normal. All right, just gonna try to find a spot to turn around here. You get out in the boonies and you start pulling into people's driveways, they get a little wigged out. Dead end, perfect. And a school bus. Okay, probably not gonna get to 60 because this road's a little sketch, but we'll give you a little feel.
just kidding. It got to 60. It's that fast.
Paddle shifters and a Jeep Wrangler.
Bet you never thought you'd see the day.
Wait a second.
Tractor. Out in the sticks, you gotta worry about.
I don't think anyone's coming.
About running into tractors.
Wait a second. Good. It is wandery.
Mm-hmm.
Wandery is a good word. Where's it going?
Right. It's a Jeep thing.
Yeah. On the downshift. Yeah, jeez, that thing's going. It like started taking off that
Yeah.
way. Where's it going?
That's of course you got it.
This is a muscle car. Like
Oh,
this
yeah.
is a.
I'm sure like the 392 Charger and Challenger don't drive that much differently.
I know. Like where is it going? Like I took off and it just what?
Let me put it this way. These things are capped by the factory at 99 miles an hour, which I'm pretty sure is the lowest cap speed of like any production vehicle. So that's how
Yeah.
you know it's a little sketchy.
Every manufactured like tire comes with a like speed rating on it. This is one of the lowest ratings. But that's what you get with the all-terrain tires, so. Let's see where you can be kind of like, all right, you're driving this, it's weird. Because he knows what it feels like. This is a,
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel that unusual to me because I'm used to it.
yeah, you're used to that. I am used to a car that drives on rails.
Yeah. Professional car reviewers, full-time podcasters.
Here we are. I've driven a stranger's car.
Driving strangers' cars for a living.
Snazberry.
Snazberry. It always reminds me of Willy Wonka, like the snozberries
Yeah.
taste like. Oh no, wait,
Definitely.
that. Well, Willy Wonka, and then better in Super Troopers. If you remember when
Okay.
he's licking the glass. In the
That's
back
right.
Of
Yeah,
the
the
cop car.
snozberries taste like snozberries, yeah. I can barely hear us a mile away.
I think everyone can hear this thing a mile away. Again, this is a proven fact too. Out of all the cars, the Charger, Challenger, Durango that use the 392 platform, this is the loudest. It has the least amount of sound deadening, and it is the probably brashest feeling. But it's awesome. This has been a fun day. If we haven't made the formal introduction yet, this is Ben. He's the co-host of the Changing Gear podcast and the co-founder of the Changing Gears channel. He's just shy, usually stays behind the camera.
I'm the editor.
Just wanted to take a second to thank you guys for continuing your support and watching our Changing Gear videos. Take the time to continue the cause, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and soon we will have a new website launching where you can read all our reviews, watch them, get car news, and much more coming up on changinggearsmedia.com. So thank you again for your support, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.